So clearly, I did not request a written report. I didn't get a written report.
If they ask for a briefing, would we provide them for?
Yeah, we've been cooperating with them. We'll continue to.
Of the 54 letters that were sent.
What is your conclusion about the way DNR has dealt with Senator Lager's committee? Have they been forthcoming? He's used the term cover-up. He's called for the employment of special investigators by the Attorney General. Your thoughts on the way DNR has dealt with the legislature in this?
Well, information has been asked for and provided to the committee that's reviewing this matter. And we will continue to do that. They will continue to do that. It's my hope and expectation that they wrap their work up soon and see what sort of legislative recommendations that they have in this regard. But they have had significant interviews, significant document reviews, and all that sort of stuff. And we will continue to work with them to speed their work along.
Governor, because of that Senate inquiry, we've recently learned that Jobin Boyle was supposed to have a meeting in this office on June 4th with your chief of staff, but that meeting got canceled. Why are we just learning about that meeting 2.5 months, that canceled meeting 2.5 months later? I mean, that would seem to explain these emails saying he was intending to come here to brief your chief of staff on the E. Coli report.
No, I'm not sure what you're referring to, Chad. I mean, the regular management meetings occur on a myriad of topics, with department directors, acting directors, and other folks all the time. And a number of topics get discussed at those. There's regular communication of all sorts. I do not know what was discussed at whatever meetings, but the bottom line is there's a lot of ongoing contact between our departments and the governor's office and the folks here.
Governor, when you told the press that nobody in your office had been aware of the results, we now know that that was inaccurate. But at the time you were telling the press that, what had you done to make sure that that was accurate information? What were you basing that information on when you said nobody in my office knew about these results?
I'm not exactly sure, as I said before, I mean, I was, the first time I entered the information process on this was on July 16th when we moved. I mean, over the now, all I can say, Tony, is as I said before, I know my staff made mistakes. As soon as it became clear to me, came crystal clear to me, I instructed them, all the relevant ones, to sit down and answer your questions about this, which they did. I can't say with certainty what that exact date, whatever that came to my head, but I thought that process a few weeks ago was the way to do that, to put people in a room and allow a question.
Let me try
to be the last question too.
Well, go ahead, somebody else.
What kind of timeline has been set for the people who received warning letters, and will they be fined? Will they be shut down? How will you proceed with that?
I think I would defer those questions to the acting director or the director when they come back on Monday. I'm not sure. When you issue the some of those will they go into the normal process that they're operating over. I just don't have that in front of me, and I apologize. I'm going to give Tony a bonus question. Go ahead, my friend. Sorry.
I would try to rephrase my other question. When you told us that nobody in your office knew, is that based on your conversation with Jack Cardetti, with John Watson? I mean, what made you convinced that that was true? We now know it wasn't. Did you know what Jack knew at that point? I'm trying to figure out where the breakdown was. You've said there's breakdowns. We still don't really know where the breakdown was between Jack Cardetti and you.
Yeah, I really don't. As I said before, I mean, I just don't have. I can't say with certainty any exact date about this because I just don't remember. I mean, this thing has moved along. And I don't mean in any way to minimize the work and the efforts that's being done here by a number of people, but this is a very busy job. When it reached a point in which I felt that those members of my staff that were relevant should be put in front of the press and be asked whatever questions y'all wanted to ask them. I did that, and that's what we did a couple of weeks ago. That's all I can say. It's not a single data point, and it's not a, you know, these are just, this is a wonderful, interesting, and busy job, and you know, clearly the communication could have been better, crisper, and more accurate here. And regardless of whether any of that is my fault or not, it's my responsibility. I'm governor of the state of Missouri. And so my goal has been, as I said, as I reach the end of here, what are we going to use these mistakes for? What is the jumping off point here going to be? Is it going to be a slow march of trickling information, or is it going to be a pivot point for public policy in the state? And I, quite frankly, want to use it as a pivot point for public policy. I mean, when you look back and see the amount and times in just the last few years that massive amounts of sewage and E. coli and bacteria have been released without a single person being held accountable, without a single person being drugged through this stuff. And you compare that to the level of our efforts and energy here, and you compare that to what was done in the past, I'm convinced that the people that are around me are aware of their mistakes, are aware of my deep concern about that, and feel like we have begun to hold people accountable in this process. We will continue to, but I have faith and trust in the folks that are in leadership positions, and I fully expect that we're going to do a lot of great things to clean up this lake and many others, and on the myriad of other public policy issues that we face. Thank you.